INEC has unveiled an artificial intelligence-powered virtual assistant which aims at improving staff training and operational readiness ahead of the November 8 Anambra governorship elections. The digital tool, named the INEC Training Virtual Assistant or INEC Training Bot, is accessible via Telegram. That's according to INEC. The virtual assistant offers electoral officers 24-hour access to election materials, interactive lessons, and on-demand learning models, enabling them to train flexibly from any location and at their own pace. The Commission says the initiative is part of broader efforts to leverage technology in enhancing the efficiency, preparedness, and effectiveness of its staff during the electoral process. Well, what are voters in Anambra State expecting from INEC under a new chairman? Can the latest technology address issues of election fraud? We'll have joining us now live from HOC, the governorship candidate of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, in Anambra State, Paul Chukwuma. Thanks very much, Paul, for joining us on Newsnight. It's just a few days away before the governorship election in Anambra State. Your party and yourself, you've been kind of quiet while Mr. Solution, the incumbent governor, is, been everywhere. How confident are your party's success at the polls? Hello, Paul. I hope you heard me. In some connection problem there with Paul Chukwuma, the Young People's Party governorship candidate in Anambra State. I think we're just having a slight technical issue, and we're going to get back to Paul in Anambra. But for the time being, let's go on a short break. We'll be back. We're glad to have connection back, and we apologize for that little technical hitch. We're asking the question, what are voters in Anambra State expecting from INEC under a new national chairman? Can the latest technology address issues of election fraud? Well, we have joining us now live from HOC, the Anambra State capital, the governorship candidate of the Young Progressives Party, YPP, in Anambra State. That's Paul Chukwuma. Paul, thanks so very much for joining us on Newsnight. I asked the question earlier that YPP seems to have been at the background during this electioneering campaign in Anambra State for the governorship, which just had some few days left. What are your chances and that of your party in dislodging Mr. Solution, that is the incumbent governor?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. The test of the pudding, they say lies in the eating. Anambra has made up their mind. We are winding down our campaign, and the message is very clear. Anambra have decided that they are more than happy given our grassroots-based campaign, that they are more than happy to have YPP as the ruling party in Anambra State. And that's the story everywhere. So I'm very confident that come November 8, after the polls, the mandate in the Anambra has expressed will be given effect, and YPP will be the ruling party in Anambra, and then myself, the governor of Anambra State.
All right, Paul. I mean, good to know that you've been in the field campaigning, and like you said, the grassroots, the youths are up, to probably change the new leadership there. But like is often asked in the Nigerian parlance, what are you bringing to the table, and what are you going to do differently that the people of Anambra, Ndi Anambra, are not enjoying or getting today?
Well, it's very clear. For instance, let's take step by step. In the area of security, we are still bedeviled by very high level of insecurity. As the governor of Anambra State, I'm going to ensure, first of all, that the security vote, which we don't know what they use it for today, is channeled directly to solving the litany of insecurity challenges we have been faced with in Anambra State. In the area of education, I'm going to ensure that our Omas and the Anambra have got clear scholarship. You have talked about the teachers. There is no single community in Anambra State today where you have teachers' quarters. I'm going to provide teachers' quarters for our teachers, because to a very large extent, the quality of the teachers we pull out determines the future of our kids. We talk about the area of infrastructure. Anambra is collapsing. Every aspect of Anambra State, if you are not talking about erosion, sweeping away people's houses, you are talking about very poor quality infrastructure. As the roads are being built, they are even leading to more erosion sites, because the roads were badly designed and with very poor quality. None of the roads in Anambra State today has got a design that had provision for walkway. So the government of the day has no interest as far as the poor masses and the underprivileged of Anambra State is concerned. Are we talking about the operation of Nde Akodo, where Akodo is used to as a means of collecting taxes? Yet even the taxation we're talking about, we are still doing less than 45 billion yearly in Anambra State. Our next door neighbors, for instance, Enugu State, is doing about 200 billion. Yet there's no Akodo on the street. Are we talking about electricity? Are we talking about infrastructure is broken? Anambra is totally broken, and we need to fix it. And the government of the day seems to be clueless in terms of what to be done. And I think they've run out of ideas, and that's why there is nothing to show for the 4 years of this current administration. So they are just pursuing shadows. But for me, Ndi Anambra, they are quite clear about the mandate they are giving to YPP. And we are very grateful from the message we've received from the grassroots, and we will be doing the needful in terms of dealing with some of these issues.
All right. Some Ndi Anambra too would say one critical area that has been overlooked, in the state for quite a while now is the industrialization of Anambra State. If you take from Nnewi, which is the epicenter of industrial growth, particularly indigenous one, as akin to Nigeria, and of course Onitsha, the biggest market in West Africa and the rest, they are just left with little or no government presence and the rest. With a YPP governor in the government house, how are you going to help regenerate and make these two industrial and business hubs, create more visibility in the West African sub-region beyond Anambra?
Yes, government and governance is not rocket science. And the principle of nemo dat non quod habet will always apply. You can only give what you have. Anambra State today is landlocked, and to a very large extent it affects our ability to develop our economy and industrialize Anambra. So if there's an opportunity today, and I've made, it's part of my campaign promise to Anambra, there's a place called Osagwa in Ihiala, and I intend to, the intervening space between Osagwa and the high sea is about put together 18 nautical miles. And it is my intention as governor of Anambra State to collaborate with the federal government and to deepen that channel and create a seaport at Osagwa. Once the seaport is created, the intervening space between Ihiala via Okija, Ozobol, and Obahu is a very, very tight opportunity for us to set the industrial park for the south and the north. And then, of course, we have a plan to set up other industrial park across the state. And then another problem is that you cannot industrialize without security, without electricity. So we intend to also, I've traveled to China a couple of times, and I already have a system in place that would enable us to create 3 mini grids in Anambra State to guarantee electricity. Don't forget, in Anambra State, we have huge deposit of gas. I also intend to create an enabling environment so that industrialists in Anambra, every village in Anambra has got at least 1 billionaire. I intend to harness this resource, human resource, to ensure that government creates the enabling environment for these investors to come in and invest. But we first of all need to fix electricity, fix the problem of insecurity, because you cannot thrive, whether you're talking about industrialization, you're talking about commerce, you're talking about any form of business. Today in Anambra State, we don't have, the government cannot boast of one single foreign direct investment. We're not even talking about local investors. Investors are leaving Anambra and going to other parts of Nigeria. I want to create the enabling environment by making sure that we have secured homeland so that people can come back and invest in Anambra State. It is our wish. Government is only chasing shadow in Anambra today. And that's why we're talking about insecurity, and then they're talking about state militia. And this state militia essentially was set up to be used as an intimidation tool in this election. And I pretty much hope that the new INEC chairman, will rise to this occasion, and that the security agencies will rise to the occasion and ensure that the plan of the current administration, the governor of the state, and the Africa-led government, to use the state militia as a tool, intimidation tool, to rig this election, is that, did not see the light of the day. Because that's the plan. Because the governor has failed. There's nothing to show for this administration, and they want to open the vault, vote buy-in, and then use the state militia that, imagine, state militia, they are bearing prohibited firearms.
All right.
AK-47 in Anambra State.
Thank you
just
so
as
very
a tool
much,
to rig the election.
Paul.
But I hope INEC and security will do the right thing.
Well, Paul Chukwuma, we'll leave that to the federal authorities, and they should be able to rise to the occasion with the allegations you have made. Paul Chukwuma is the Young People's Party governorship candidate for Anambra. That election is due November 8th. Thanks so very much for speaking to us on Newsnight.